Yeah, look at the text last time. You're saying the salt and pepper looks good on here.
Good evening. Education Committee, Board of Alders, Notice, New Haven. The Education Committee of the Board of Alders will meet in person on Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024, at 6 p.m. in the Board of Alders chambers located at 165 Church Street, second floor, New Haven, Connecticut, to hold the following workshop. Workshop with the New Haven Public Schools regarding visual and performing arts, physical education, athletics, health programs offered, including an overview of how the programs are staffed, support social and emotional wellness of students, affect student behavior and attendance, and correlate with math and reading programs. Per order, Honorable Sal Punzo Chair, Next Honorable Michael Smart, City Town Clerk. These items are on file and are available at the office of the City Clerk located at 200 Garland Street, 202, New Haven, Connecticut, 06510. For accessibility related accommodations, please call 203-946-7651B or 203-946-8582 TY TPD. Public comment testimony may also be submitted via email to publictestimony@newhavencc.gov before 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. This meeting may be viewed on the New Haven Board of Alders YouTube page. Okay, at this time, I'll have my committee members introduce themselves, starting from my right.
Frank Dancy, Ward 15.
Aaron Miller, Ward 14.
Sal Punzo, Ward 17.
Young Flores, Ward 1.
Okay, speakers are welcome to come to the table.
Dream team.
That's right.
Expected a gold medal.
Okay, before we start, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Ellen Moss, Supervisor for Visual Arts, and my home address.
Eric Barbarito, Assistant Principal for Physical Education and Health. My home address is 415 Mulligan Drive, Oxford, Connecticut.
Eric Jaskowski, Director of Physical Education, Health and Athletics, 182 Longcrest Road, New Haven.
And Dr. Madeline Nichols, Principal of Schools, 70 Attic Street, in Connecticut.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Keisha Redhead is Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, 155 Hernway in Hampton, Connecticut.
Thank you. Thank you for being here this evening, and you may begin whenever you're ready.
To get us started, thank you so much for the opportunity to come before you tonight to speak about the work that we have been doing in our district as it relates to our arts and education programming. Before I pass it on to my team, I want to publicly acknowledge Ellen Moss, who is with us today. Ellen, as you know, Supervisor of Performing and Visual Arts, will be retiring at the end of this academic year. And that is after serving 44 years of service with the district. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to speak with that.
Talking about crying.
And then before you start, let me also just acknowledge our Assistant Superintendent Hannah, who again, leads all the work of curriculum, instruction and assessments. You can kind of flip the work.
So good evening once again. We're excited to come before you. I remember last year we talked about coming before you to talk about some of the other disciplines. And so I'm excited that we have this opportunity today to talk about our opportunities for our students in the performing and visual arts, as well as in physical education and health. Which you'll find is what you have, right? Our students' talents, uh, and they are creative, they are intelligent, they are athletic, and they excel with the talents that they have. So as you hear the presentation this evening, I would just like you to focus on the opportunities that we provide for our students to close access gaps for students. With that, I'll turn it over to Ellen.
Okay, so again, I just want to thank you for having us and recognizing that our students are much more than just test scores, that they have many more talents and gifts to give to this whole harmony visual work, high quality exposure and opportunity in the work, dance, music, and drama, and access for all students. The instruction is based on state and national standards. We focus on 4 areas of artistic processes, which are actually really 4 because piece count is 1: creating, performing, presenting, and producing, responding, and connecting. And that we want to produce artistic, independent workers, but are independent artists and work like artists, so they can transfer those skills not just to our endeavor, but across content areas. Since the arts are doing subjects, our assessments are really authentic performance-based assessments. In K-8 schools, we have an abundance of offerings in general art and general music instruction. And some of the schools, when they reach middle school, they have electives that they can choose. But all our schools offer art and music. Every student in K and then in 5th grade it's available, and some of the schools offer it on an elective basis. This list or this collage of what we offer changes in the K school based on what the teachers study or what they go out to learn in the summer. Oh, I went and I studied modern band in Colorado because music paid for me. And I'm going to teach modern band this year. So our spoken sequences taught through a variety of ways, and as it change. Our high school course offerings, these are all courses from our course catalogs. And they're not even all listed. Many of these have more than one level of course. For instance, drawing 1, drawing 2, painting 1, or painting 2. And because our comprehensive schools offer more than our magnet schools that are not arts themed, but our magnet schools have some very specific courses. For instance, the social justice course taught at high school in the community. We picked up at other courses, other schools that have become interested in that course. And we have a social justice theater course now being provided next year. So again, are a little bit fluid, but these are all in our course catalogs. All of our offerings in the arts in our schools are funded through general funds. So through our regular budget, general funds, we don't have any special funds in the arts. And that's all those what we call after-school drama productions. So it's funded through general funds. Our staffing consists primarily of full-time certified teachers and some part-time teachers to fill scheduling gaps in the K-8 schools. So our K-8 schools have predominantly size student body schools, student body schools. And some of the schools have more of their based schools in pre-K 8. Some of them have other courses, right? So if you're a science-based magnet school, you might have an additional STEM person instead of an additional arts person. And this is all funded through general funds. I have to say, I started in 1980 school year. So I was 9.5 hours. There were no full classes. I was at 2 schools. I was teaching 30 classes. And there were no materials. Our assembly joked that it was the Salvation Army band bus because every tag sale I went to, I would pick up every little kid percussion instrument. So I had all of those old rattly tinkling shaking around in the back of my car. In 44 years, I have never seen a cut in arts only to the point where we recognized as an outstanding committee nationally. So it's to go to workshops across the country and be able to say that and to recruit teachers and be able to look at them and say, I've been here for 44 years and I've never seen a cut in arts. It's a phenomenal thing to say. Arts accountability is a little different. So in the next generation accountability system, you may know that there's 12 indicators by which they measure the accountability of schools to their students. 12th indicator is arts access. It's not about test scores or to do or how many they can play. It's about how students classes that they want. The schools are not measured for arts access, which is okay for us as a district because we would accept. I mean, we would be taking part in the forward. It's just a high school assessment. So the high schools, 11 and 12, can receive 10 points for their access score. To get all 10 points, you have to have 60% of your students taking an arts course that year. So our comprehensive schools, again, do very well. Obviously, co-op does really well, surprisingly not 100%, because creative writing is not considered an art, the arts theme. So, but way up there. And then I'm sorry. The little filter. Thank you for telling me that. So, it was 10 points. So most of our scores really pushed upward by Cross, Hillhouse, and HLC. Schools that have another theme, many of their students, 25% taking arts courses because their electives are all for their theme. And some of the schools only have one arts educator, so they can really only cover 25% of those kids a year. And even that's a stretch according to their contract. So if you, so these numbers aren't as high as we would like to see them, but if you consider that so many schools, they're not at all actually very good. If you look at 2020 to 22, it looks like a big surge in numbers, but that was the post-pandemic year. So the previous year, when students were learning virtually, if you were taking a class, you really didn't send them to play your partner to a computer screen or read your blog and act in front of a computer screen. So many of them didn't have credit that year. They either dropped their course or lost it. So the seniors had to come back and all take their arts course that year.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Like,
Mr. Chair, just.
sorry.
So when we did finally return to performances and having the audience in person, that was last year. Because when we first came back, we weren't blowing into wind instruments, we weren't seeing groups close to each other. And even when we were doing that, we were inviting audiences, just and opening our performances and our exhibits. So last year I said to the teachers, all the arts in the community, arts in our schools in the community. And the goal was to have every school present at least one performance in front of an audience and outside audience, and exhibit outside their school or have a public art show in their school. And we can see that we well exceeded that last year. It was so exciting to make the announcement that arts were back. The arts were back live and well in Haven Public Schools. This year, our numbers will exceed that. The performance numbers right now are on track to more than double. I don't have all the data, but that's the way it is right now. While the arts are for content, we definitely connect to all the other content areas. So focusing on how we connect to reading. The arts are language-based, no matter what it is, even if that language is music. So we connect to oral language, focus on vocabulary development and reading comprehension, academic language, and text-rich environments. The text could be lyrics or a script or a dialogue, but very often the text is the music in front of you or the piece of artwork in front of you that you're analyzing and talking about. So we develop reading skills in those text-rich, arts text-rich environments. We develop skills in listening, which will focus on thinking awareness, especially if you're talking about performing art or singing, on expression in all the arts and on the sentence of what you're doing or the form you're doing. And reading fluency, not just in reading text or singing text, but playing music, you have to, from the beginning to the end, and be comfortable connecting that all together, not stopping at like, oops, I can just continue that fluency. As you're developing that fluency brain, also going to develop and read fluency. In connecting with the art, or with math rather, it's not just about the rhythm and the measuring and doing artwork with shapes. All of the math practice skills, the math practice standards, connect to 8 art habits of mind. So all the arts habits of mind. So if you're, piece of math equation and you're working on that math equation, decode and stop it. But if you're problem solving or reasoning out a math problem, it's the same process as reasoning out something in art. We attend to precision in the same way we attend to precision in math. In math practice standard 6. We look and we make use of structure. That could even be as simple as studying arts, history, or culture, and the patterns that we see in those arts and what we see. So all the way across the 8 practice standards for math are the mind. And we do have posters that actually show graphics for the math practice standard, using tools and then using the arts tools. How do we support SEL? That's who we are. It's what we do. The arts are all about SEL. In the arts, we develop our student voice our student expression, our ability to express ourselves in different ways, to work together, to collaborate. Our students find self-confidence, self-discipline, perseverance. They understand different cultures and different perspectives. They develop relationships. They learn to feel good about themselves and let people know who they are. And there's always a drive for excellence and creativity. So there's a relatively new music teacher, and he's a first-time drama after-school director. And in passing, talking about his experience, last week he said to me, they're so much more disciplined than when they began. They are better humans. They have more passion and more compassion. They have a purpose and a direction. The older ones take care of the younger ones. It's magical. I think that's exclusive to our drama productions. I think it's exclusive to all our experiences for our kids. Attendance. Kids involved in the arts want to come to school. It's that simple. They feel they belong. They have a place to belong. They have a place where they know they'll be missed and they're valuable. They might not do fantastically in reading, math. I remember having teachers saying to me, "How'd you get my kids to be the lead? I can't get them to read." And they know they're good at something, and they're good at things that some other kids aren't. They want to be in school. So on the first page where you see a picture of Susco and a picture of Milana Jr., this is the attendance for these two schools. So they're middle school students in the German club. From the first day of rehearsal to the very last. They're all in the 20s. That's amazing. You know, they want us to be there for rehearsal. I say rehearsals, they want to be in the show where they were going to have their part reduced. They wanted to be there, and the part was valuable, even if they were in the ensemble. And as we move on to high school, maybe to their team, whether it be an ensemble, a team of musicians, or somebody. This is the Hillhouse High School band attendance for the whole year. This is the whole year attendance. From first day of school until last year. This is their regular course schedule attendance. Band 3, again, is after that year, so they didn't play their instrument for a couple of years. That only has 2 classes, so that's 2. So the number is a little skewed, but it's still in the 80s. And so those are the students being 2, 3, and 4. Again, the majority of those percentages are in the 90s. And if you look at the rest of the course, not so much. I don't know about Eric's, but I imagine his look like mine. But that's pretty amazing. Then I said to him, okay, I want you to find the kids, give me a list of students that are in all your bands. They go to Yale when you play basketball band. They go to Southern marching band. They're in your marching band and your concert band and your whatever. I want your head hitters. So 14 games. And when I looked at their percentages, their average was 96% for those students. Those heavy hitting band members. So I've said we've never had a cut in the arts, and that everything we do is funded by general funds. The message is out there that the community cares about the arts and the schools care. We are supported through funds, through staffing, and through curriculum enhancement and development. And That makes a huge difference in getting community partners in the kind of community partners we get. That doesn't mean they're calling me up and saying, hey, I'll come in and do a workshop for you if you pay me this. I'm not talking about community partners, I'm talking about strategic partners that don't charge us. They want to come in and do workshops for our students, to come in and support our students. These aren't just local or state partners. Maybe you don't, that we have 15 schools that started through VH1 music funds. And they still call. I mean, they still call and say, how do you do it? What do you need? Like, do you need me to come in and talk to a principal? How do you need me to do this? And Music Will is a national organization. Some of our teachers to Colorado and be trained in training in the summer. And they just workshop this 2 weeks ago. And our teachers were trained and they received their some of these other organizations are right here. We were named outstanding community education nationally last month through the National Association. I'm convinced that if there was a visual arts award, we would receive that. And we have the past couple of weeks have had soaring results for and recognitions for our jobs. So last week, Saturday, we were at the Sondheim Awards, which are the National Drama Awards for high schools. And that's a national award that studied with artists and presented their scenes at Schubert. We have nominations for that. And next week we'll be at the Halo Awards at Palace Theater. 90 schools participate in that. The state. We have 19 nominations. 2 productions at the Academy. Numerous nominations and cross receiving nominations. So if there were national awards, I'm sure that there would be pretty little flyers. Outstanding community for arts education in all of these areas. Our biggest community partnership, the Music Schools Initiative. The Yale class of 57 began that about 5 years before their 50th reunion. They wanted to do something. They wrote a check for Dr. Mayo that doesn't come into the schools, it's handled through Yale. Our schools, a huge amount of off its interest, and now the class of 80 whatever has taken it on, and it is strictly to support music education in the schools. Haven Public Schools, New Haven Public Schools, and support. It's not to provide teachers for us. It's to come in and give our kids that boost they need. They come in, they work in our schools. We have all sitting ensembles. We started those 15 years ago with a choir, and it worked at age 18. Ensembles we now have, and how they're going to the point where I told them, go into the different and how can we be in Haven and not have salsa and mariachi? And that became a reality. We 16 teaching artists that come into our schools. They provide lessons to our students and help them audition for colleges, for lead ensembles. We help the teachers. And then if you look at page 19, kids, 104 kids registered to spend 4 weeks at Yale this summer, living the college life they have. Being a Yale, they're not staying overnight, but they're there all day for 4 weeks. They have lessons from teaching artists, from Yale professors. They have ensembles. They have music theory. They perform several times a week. They eat in the commons. It's just an experience, and the fact that they have music leaders, ensemble leaders. So again, can't imagine spending an arts career as an arts educator in any other city. I just encourage that we keep this up in the city of New Haven. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. At this time, I'm going to ask my committee people, do you have any questions for Ellen? Yeah.
The first. I lost her eye. I have, the first is just a question to fill in some information from one. I'm just curious about participation rates in the lower schools. I see that the slide you have about Connecticut Next Generation in required class, and I see your high school, but do you
Every
have an
student
approximation?
in the elementary schools participates in art and music, K4, and every student 5-8 participates in arts electives of their choice. So every student.
Huge support there. And my second question, maybe a little more back in the ground to addition, just eager to know more and learn more about interested in just some explanation, which should be some of, I think, at workshops, but just a little bit more for us, the education committee, sort of about the how the current budget addresses wonderful things we're hearing about, what you think you'll be able to do, which portion of the mayor's proposed budget increase would satisfy your needs, and what difference might be left on the slide if your budget does not. Just sort of curious about the best arts.
So, thank you all very much. I really have been appreciating all budget questions. I find them very timely. As Ellen mentioned, right, that over the years, all of the allocations in terms of our staffing have been able to come out of the general budget. Right now, we also exist as a budget, just as of now. But I also know the reality is, and I'm eagerly waiting. We know that the mayor, right, requested $5 million towards education. When I came before you, I told you that I pretty much need about 16 million. So we're going through the process now internally to identify where those costs specifically come from. So I think, as it relates particularly to the arts, the benefit right now is so much of the richness that also comes as part of our programming coming through those partnerships that I mentioned that are not coming at a cost. So it's not like other after-school programming or before-school programming that yes, we have partners, but at the end of the day, all of those dollars are either contributed by us or it's some type of an allocation. And I'm going to be every single dollar able to say. Or more specifically, what I can tell you is that all of those staffing that I spoke about on page slide 7, where you see your PKA art staffing, all of that staffing right now is inside of our proposed budget, inclusive of what I mentioned. If you may recall the spreadsheet that spoke about the contractual obligations, like the increases that are coming in terms of, contract that we have to adhere to. What I said is that the 5% that we get as part of the budget, we said that's just going to go cover that all those contractual increases. So you're talking about, I feel confident that the staffing is still there for these people. Where I still don't know would be, and it's saying, yeah, we're not paying a cent, everything else is coming for free. But if there's anything in here that we're saying that we have to make a contribution, so that my priority is going to keep the core. And for me, the core is when Ellen was explaining, what do we offer K4 during the day, what do we offer 5-8, what in terms of what's access at the high school level when she gave you course selections, but meaning if I have to start looking to cut, those are the avenues that I'm going to go. What else are we offering? What else are we paying that is outside of what I'm calling like the essentials, right? The foundation. Because somewhere I got to start looking for that major gap that we have. So as it relates to the arts again, feeling a little better because I know a lot of those components that supplement the program, that give it its richness, is coming with really coming out of the cost. Now I can tell you that when we go into the other bucket that we're going to, I think the response if you were to ask me that question is going to be completely different. When we go into the health.
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
the-
I feel thank you for. Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the answer. Arts.
Do I have any other?
Well, thank you, Ellen, for all your years of service.
I always thank you for your support. I feel like I have you. Friends, but I've known these here for a long time.
This is true. I've never actually seen the staffing laid out like this, and I think it was really well put that when and there's belonging, that addresses so many things that are not directly about the arts, right? It's social emotional learning, it's attendance, it addresses behaviors. And yet, like I look at the staffing and we have 5 full-time drama teachers. Okay.
So drama teachers certified are very hard to come by. If they existed, I would pick them up. We don't have them.
Okay, so that was sort of one of my questions to what extent does that reflect drama programming? Because I've experienced just as a parent, not a lot of drama programming. My kids have never been offered to play. When I sort of brought it up, it's always like, well, if the teacher wants to hear, it can happen. So I'm wondering if you do see that as sort of a gap and what we might do together to try to fill it.
So we do fund the after school programs and that's a contractual requirement. So again, from the general funds, but you have to have somebody that does that. So as a thing with the drama person, several staff to start up with after school. The drama teachers and dance teachers, it's very, very difficult to find certified teachers. And when you do find them, they mostly want to be in high school where they're teaching students that select that course. So the place to fill that gap would be in the after school area because we can't hire a teacher for part-time funds. And quite honestly, some of the drama people that are producing fabulous shows in our district, and as you know, have experience already in one school. They have no courses even behind them. They don't have a degree, so their pay is very minimal. So first of all, would be to find them, right, to get them doing an after-school program, but they can't get a stipend for that after school either because it's a contract.
If I may, Chair Ponce, in that particular scenario that you mentioned, right? My response will be completely different to the response that I offered to you because I would say, now you're asking me to do that, and I'm going to say, there's no way. I'm not going to go and add. I'm still trying to figure out how to provide for the basic essentials that I need to provide in terms of core instruction. So that will become, right, like, yes, we know it works, right? It's about addressing the whole child. We know the benefits, but at this point, when we're talking about the deficit, I would say it's nice to have, right? So that's where then I'm in this tough place that I'm gonna have to prioritize. So I would say that is where the challenges come in, because we're talking about how do we add, right? Because all of that at the end the day, it's gonna cost money. And the more I put on general budget, I'm not closing the gap. I'm gonna be increasing.
Right. So the only time we put those full-time teachers is when the principal said, I don't need a full-time string teacher, I can go with a part-time string teacher and take my part-time drama position and make it full-time. So it was the same full-time equivalent in the building.
Trade-off.
It was a trade-off, it wasn't in place, right, it was a trade-off.
All that makes a lot of sense. I'm wondering if do you see, when you think about the overall program strategically, do you see, like drama, those areas, as something that we really need to work on together going forward, especially with, I mean, is that an area that we need to be paying attention to if we have the dollars, or through partnerships, or through other things? I mean, that's my read of this, is that there's some potential in that piece that not much of as well as we might.
Small areas, especially with partnerships. Partners, sort of teachers that normally teach in a smaller environment very rapidly, and that's what happens often. So that we can bring the right person through the partnership, because you don't want to have problems.
Thank you. Another question, which is a little unrelated, which is just about culture. The arts are so related to culture and how we think about like cultural responsiveness and cultural appropriateness and reflecting the kids' cultures and all the disciplines.
So we purposely do not have a scripted or curriculum for that very reason. And I've seen, obviously, in my 44 years, drastic changes, even in my 29% in what we needed to address the culture in our community and in our schools. So our curriculum is concept and skills based. So we don't necessarily see the same art products and music and troupe that we might see at Fairview. And we stress culturally relevant and student interest relevant repertoire and projects throughout the arts. And I think you'll see that in schools, and I'm sure you saw it as you went through the projects.
Thank you.
Alder Denny, you, congratulations on 44 years. Your instructors got some big shoes.
The new instructor's experience.
I'm coming up on 30 years. I was very lucky for 18 years to be at where we had a wonderful parent, Jamie Kane, who is unbelievable. As I look at this attendance support, I'm jealous at those 6th, 7th, and 8th grade attendance numbers. As you know, I'm at Fairhaven now, where I started my career 30 years ago. We have one of the largest programs in the district.
Most beautiful
And the most
auditorium
beautiful
in the
one, you took
district.
the words out of my mouth. And a few years back, when I first got there, we had a dance teacher, Mr. Miller. And since he left, we haven't had anything in that auditorium, and I was just wondering why, and if there were any conversations.
We've been
Our largest
looking,
case.
so I'm gonna be honest, it's a vacancy. So that's a vacancy a part-time vacancy that is funded. So we have been looking. Initially, that was a partnership between our two departments. We're so rich. That would be honest. And combined the process, I think that was probably before the department era. And, again, that's a non-certified, non-degreed part-time teacher. And we have been looking for people to take that position or as a drama position, but they pull out because they don't, they want partner classes, not 27 kids in front of them. That's a challenge. I think there's some teachers and those want it, and they can have content that could handle that. So that's a vacancy on the board. Sit at my desk, it's right behind me. Next year. Children or after school.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Lord?
Thank you guys for the presentation. I grew up doing all of these programs.
I can tell I'm looking at you. I was watching you guys. We got an artist there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played clarinet for 8 years, but I'm still not that good at it. But
Hearing
yes, I went to co-op and went to yes, it was.
That's during my tenure.
Oh, I forgot his name, but it'll come, Mr. Ken.
That was
Mr.
after.
Ken. Yeah, so at that point, that's when my brother started playing an instrument as well. So I grew up doing a lot of the initiatives. I did Morse Academy, and my brother is still at co-op right now, so he's got a bunch of this stuff, and it's been really great. Me and my friends from high school, we have a tradition where every year we're like coming back from our winter break, we go see the co-op musical and be like reminisce about our times like playing in the pit. And it's really great to see this sort of bounce back from COVID. Like,
so your alumni friends were probably sitting right behind me at this on on Saturday. There was a whole group of like Rachel Holst was there. You know, they were all there.
Yeah, probably. But there's so much good work happening. And something I was interested in hearing about was if they about any ways, the Board of Education or different schools are facilitating like cross high school collaboration. And the reason I asked that is because I know that I went to the New Haven Academy in the Heights performance that they did at Wilbur Cross, and my brother was hired as like from co-op to do sort of like the band gig because we didn't have a band of their own. So I just thought that was a really great experience for my brother to have, like, in terms of working with other artists, interacting with other people from another high school, and then sort of seeing how they do it, and then also, people getting familiar with people from co-op and all that sort of stuff. So I was interested to hear if that's something that you've seen a little bit more of, or is that work facilitated?
I have seen a little bit more of that. It used to be more middle school, high school. Now it's a lot more across high schools because we go to a magnet school that maybe doesn't have music. We need to provide music for you somewhere else. So yes, I've seen it in the drama productions. Cross band for quite a while on our students. We had students from sound school going on Fridays, over to cross band, or after school to the cross band, and we have a combined, not through the Yale program, but we have a jazz band. Kids from across the district, primarily co-op and cross, because, and also marching band. Co-op kids are now marching in the cross marching band. So pits orchestras are filled with students from other schools. So yes, there's a lot more offerings, and the teachers work together a lot.
Yeah, since there's, well, I'm not sure how many teachers relative to other subjects. I'm assuming that there's less art teachers relative to other subjects.
Not, Cross has 6 visual teachers. High school, but in a magnet theme. So his career has 1 arts teacher, and she does theater and choir and piano, so it depends what school it is. But yes, and that's why those numbers are smaller.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other? Elementary. K4. I mean, they do art. I mean, they still put on the art exhibits.
Stop by Atwater Street Our,
And-
our art exhibit has 1,000 pieces of artwork up style.
It's wonderful.
K8, pre-K 8, and it'll be up through June 7th.
I mean, obviously, you know, if you don't have a drama or you have something, at least there's something for those kids to show their talent. Show their talent. And as far as music, I mean, you still have chorus.
So different schools have grade levels that we focus on. I used to, even when I was in the classroom, getting those scores, when we went to K schools, we were always a K school at Nathan. Courses were difficult to fit in. So there's after school courses, but the schools that have electives, many of them have choruses, but chorus they sing. That's what they did. You don't want to sing, we'll hand you an instrument to play while you're, you know, you go to band or so. And amazing things are happening. Like at Conti, she has a modern band with kids that get up there and playing their instruments. So a regular street course, I'd like to see more of that in that. I'd like to see more of that happen, but a lot of it is scheduling. One teacher.
I mean, there are things for K4 schools and K8 schools for kids to really get excited about, other than drama. I mean, is there any opportunity, say for children that are really into drama and have had the opportunity at their particular school to get involved? Is there any opportunity for them to get involved?
There's children's theater, which is free, which is free for all of the we have had kids. It's hard because we have to get to another school after school, but there are programs offer neighborhood offers a theater based program.
Any other questions?
Sometimes I think we're going to.
Hey.
We're going to.
So first,
Sorry.
congratulations on your retirement. It's been a pleasure working
Because my
with you,
hair's definitely longer. than
especially the athletic events and your bands have supported.
I thought you said she was banned.
No, I'm coming back as professional.
I'm really excited to do this presentation. I've worked with you three on projects over the years. I'm a little bit biased, but I truly believe that physical education and the phys ed teachers are just the most important people. We talk about SEL and a phys ed teacher is someone who sees our kids for the entire school. It's somebody that kids know they can go to, even though they have a new teacher or they're in a new experience. There's continuity, and all the other stuff we're going to present. I think that's one of the most important aspects that we bring to the table. I know that in schools where we have successful physical education, it carries over into successful classrooms, into behavior patterns, to the best things in the cafeteria. Me on a personal note was saved by a phys ed teacher, so I'm passionate about it. I want to talk about our goal because years back, we started looking at how we do phys ed, and it was mostly sports based. One of the things we really want is for every kid to have a level of success. So we took the fitness test as a baseline and started pre-testing at the beginning of the year to see where they are in their fitness level. After teachers come up with individual programs for each kid, look at their fitness levels and modify lessons to address weaknesses, strengths. So if you are a tremendous athlete, great physical shape, and you passed all four, on what we try to do, we're still looking to see growth. And if you are not in shape, not doing well, you can still have success. And we test you in the middle of the year and at the end of the year, and we show growth in every student. We still do on sports curriculum, but I think the fitness and individual growth that we are pushing students is extremely important. We also offer more choice where I have noted through the years where you have physical education class and students who are not good at all at this activity and don't want to do it. We now offer them alternatives where they're moving and don't have to do like, can't play basketball, oh, you're in 8th grade and you're playing basketball against kids who are really good players. You just discourage phys ed. And so our goal is to create lifelong learners, people with lifelong fitness. And I think over the last few years, we have changed the projection of how we do phys ed classes. We're not 100% where we need to be, but we're going in the direction that is beneficial to all kids. This aligns with our strategic plan because it offers continuous improvement no matter what level the student is at. So if you're at the highest physical level or you're at the lowest physical level, you're not looking at this going, I can't go anywhere. I passed everything or I failed. We it's student success not just on the state indicators, but on their own personal.
So the courses that we offer, obviously, every high school student has one full credit physical education before they graduate. So every person is going to have at least one. In our pre-K through 8 schools, our kids are getting physical education twice a week for 45 minutes. On health, and every high school student has to have health before they graduate. And in the middle schools, we're giving 7th and 8th grade health. We have itinerant health teachers that come in once a week. We split the year up into halves. We have half the schools get it in the first semester, half the schools get it in the second semester, and the teacher rotates through the school every day to a different school giving health. And then in our K through 6, it's on our classroom teachers. We use the Michigan model, and they have 4 lessons a month, 2 a month, and it covers through that, and they go through the end of the year. Now, we are in the process of updating our health curriculum. We're working on putting a new one out there, but the rest of our courses here, a lot of these are some of our schools, more specific to certain schools, but a kid could also get full credit if he did a half of nutrition, weights, and sport-specific skills. We also have adaptive PE for our life skill kids that are in schools. We want to make sure they're also getting physical education. We are for KPR in some of our schools. We have advanced sport-specific skills is where some of our athletes that want to take more is that do that and work on skills they're going to use in their sports. She uses it for technique all the time. And baseball players working on pitch, that's specific to some of our athletes. And then there's stuff that is specifically to hide the agriculture, and then growing and things that are too. Sound. I mean, sound.
Sound. I was
I'm
Living independently.
But again, we do have a rich number of courses. We could have more, but we have to make sure our kids collectively may have to scrap it because we need to get the full.
So on the next page of the presentation, we're going to move over a little bit to athletics, and this page is the offerings of sports that we offer at every school in middle school. As far as an urban district goes, very comprehensive. The CIBC will tell us, and our league see that New Haven is the gold standard for athletics for urban districts. We offer more programs than any other urban district. We are more successful, winning and losing more than any other urban district, and our operations stand out so much so that I've been asked to go to Bridgeport and talk to them about how they run their operations and things like that. Do I believe this is enough programming for our kids? I do not believe that. There are so many things that we still need to offer our kids, but again, we are general funds. We are general funds, so yes, you guys will know I have a growth mindset. We partnership with PAL, we partnership with Yard to do programs that are outside of our scope. But the athletic budget has not increased because of budgetary cuts for a lot of years. So we have to be really creative in order to hang on to continue to offer all these things for our athletes and to hope to grow for them. Just today alone, we had 6 students sign Division I athletes scholarships for track at 6 o'clock. It was double booked. So, we had 2 current All-American track athletes that are number 1 in the nation. The young lady in hurdles and the young man in the high jump. We have sent numerous kids to college for free, Division I, 2, or 3 sports. And as far as the tie-in to attendance, anyone knows that if you're on a team and you're not in school, you go to practice, you can't play. Sports is a natural, the same way with the arts, is a natural way to keep kids in school. Being told that we're the gold standard in athletics is nice, but I also know what goes on in Westport and Greenwich and Fairfield and the amount of things that they get to offer their students that we do not. And the most important thing we can offer people in education is opportunity. And we need more opportunity for it. If you look through this, I'm not going to read them all to you, but we offer all basic sports for males and females. But the demographic of our students in the city are changing, and there's a lot more stuff that students that are here now are interested in that. So that's really something that we need to look for. It's so much about middle school sports. Being that the schools are capable now, it's very difficult to run middle school sports with busing and all that. But also when I start looking at funding and I look at my budget, varsity sports are very expensive. So what I do with middle school sports is what's left. So everyone says, hey, we need more middle school, we need more programs from kids. I 100% agree with that, but we need more funding in order to do that. And none of the funding from athletics, none of our funding is any kind of special funds. It's all from the general budget. And like I said, we do as much as we can. I'm passionate. My coaches and staff are all passionate about doing as many to young people as able as we can. We'll work with any agency to do any program that will help our kids and talk a little bit about our community partnership thing. Over the April break, we partnered with PAL and we partnered with Yard and we opened the field house 4 nights and 5 days. In those days, we saw almost 1,600 kids come through. 1,600, and that tells me that there's an extreme need for this type of programming. We're hoping to continue this on Friday nights through the summer. We've been partnering with PAL to bring more stuff to young people. I'm happy to announce that we worked with Fairhaven, that we started a soccer program for middle school kids this summer. But that's all extra and stuff that's really not part of our general budget and stuff that we're able to do because we have partners who are willing to work with us and find stuff to do for kids. I can tell you this, that if we had the funding that we did, we could be the gold standard in the state of Connecticut, not other districts. I believe we have the best athletes. I believe we have the best facilities, and I believe that we can do the most to give our young people opportunities that not only helps them in the classroom, but if you look at what goes on with kids after school and what's going on with crime and everything else, if those 1,600 kids are in the field house during April break, who knows what they could have been involved in. This program is essential, not just our kids being athletes and being physically fit. And these programs are essential to the well-being of our students and our community.
Right. So staffing, we have 77 certified PE teachers. We have 4, they're also certified PE teachers, 4 Project Pride, which I think is one of our best programs in physical education. They just not help physical education, they help classroom teachers all over the place. It is an invaluable program to run on Project Pride. In health, we have 11 certified health teachers. And again, we have health teachers in the high school, and then we have itinerants in the middle school. Classroom teachers have working on some of our PE teachers doing in the future. And then coaches, we have 132 certified coaches in our athletic department.
If you look onto the next page, at the data for the SBA indicator, the state average of passing physical fitness test, all four standards, is 45%. New Haven is at 44%. If you go back in time, before we made this change, and you look at papers, they were 20-something percent, 30-something percent, because you would get to a point in the year, you test kids, you would see where they are, and record it. With what we're doing now is we're testing kids when they first get to school, and we're modifying our phys ed lessons based on strengths and also showing the kids, hey, here's where you are, here's what you need to be. And when they do their initial warm-up ed class, give them an opportunity to work on stuff that they do to improve that. And that has dramatically helped our scores and kids fast. I think looking at this, the weakest grade is 8th grade. And I can tell you, being a middle school phys ed teacher for 20 years, before I was in administration, 8th grade kids don't do as well in the fitness test because it's not cool to do that. So I think that's that. And Eric's going to talk a little bit about growth.
So we told this idea of literacy, about individual growth bands and the reading. Because the scores from the state don't tell our story of how well our kids actually are doing, because that 44% represents 4 parts of the fitness test. It's not showing growth. So we sat down with a bunch of our teachers and we came up with this growth model to show that our kids are making progress in 4 different parts, 4 different tests. And we found out some amazing things by all the data. Last year, we had our PACER test alone, we showed 74% growth. Okay. Our sit and reach, which is the hardest to show growth because it's flexibility, there's not a lot of room to grow. We were about 50%, 44, 45, close to 50% growth. But then our push-ups and our curl-ups were at 69% of our kids showed growth. And that's pretty amazing because, like I said, 44%, you look at it, you put it on the paper, it doesn't show what our kids are doing. We need to tell our story of how well our kids are doing. I'm looking at this year's scores, and I'll be practicing them soon. I'm seeing growth, and we have a spreadsheet that I have for every single school, and every single physical education teacher puts their pre, mid, and post test, so I can monitor that. I can see where they're at, and it helps them when they got to put in for these state. But this has been great. Teachers love it when they're setting goals for their T-vals. They can use it, and it's been very helpful for them to individual plans with their students. We're happy with this. Very happy.
As far as our tie into literacy and math, we introduce new words in phys ed. All of our schools have word walls, so the kids come in, they identify these words in actual reading. And a lot of the phys ed, the physical part of it, is math. Kids are learning shapes in physical education through they're learning measurement through, how distance and speed changes and all that stuff. So the literacy and math part naturally integrates in that. A lot of our phys ed teachers will also give like history of sport lessons to our kids and have them do research on it and different things like that, especially at the high school level. At the high school level, all our students in phys ed do a project at some point in the year, which ties right into literacy. And another positive, because like I told you, I'm going to be biased, but kids are learning about stuff. I get to go read and do a story on baseball. I'm more apt to really learn into it and really learn it. So I think just naturally with both those subjects, we tie in to that.
And how we got SEL, we talked about practice, right? And Eric's going to talk a little bit more about that. But part of our 2 domains, we have the cognitive, locomotor, and the affective domain, and that is SEL right there. So again, we're working on teamwork, sportsmanship, effort, cooperation, skills that we see and write are taught. And again, we said we're putting emphasis on making our kids be physical active people by emphasizing sports, making people feel good about one. We want somebody to feel bad oh, I struck out and somebody made fun. We want to do the best that you can do. And we're developing more fitness-based curriculum. So we're headed.
Another thing based on that is in a lot of our phys ed classes, students who are very uncomfortable about participating, we allow them to have like a walk, where they walk as a group during the class and they're moving the whole time. Like in the early 90s in Wexford, when I first started teaching, I had a group of kids who just refused to play phys ed. I'm like, I made a deal with them. I'm like, if you walk the whole class, I'll pass you. And I ran into them, they were in there like adults and Stop and Shop, and they were like, we hated phys ed. We thank you so much for doing that. And the light just turned on, and I'm like, there's a lot of kids who are intimidated to be in a phys ed class. So if you give them things to do, we're now teaching lifelong fitness, not turning them off. And I think that's a huge SEL piece. I would invite any of you guys to come out this spring to see our camping course. At Camp City, guys are our problem crime department. We're in certain schools that we identify as having a need, identify kids with phys ed classes that we think could benefit from this, and it's a pull-out program. They pulled out their phys ed time, they do teamwork, they do team building, they go out on all different trips, they do ice skating. We started a roller skate program here at Project Pride. We have state-of-the-art high road course at Camp City that we were able to build through grant money. Project Pride was discontinued for a while, and we were able to bring it back a couple of years ago. And I think as far as our programs, it's one of the most important things that we do for young people, that students who are identified as having that and go program to come back and tell you that that is one of the most impactful programs that they've been part of. And then finally, talking about community partners, like I said in the beginning, our department is passionate about giving opportunities for kids. We did basketball every Saturday in the park last summer. Park and Rec. And every Saturday we were parking in the city, and we did free clinics for kids. We had a pizza truck there. The Friday Night Light program that we did over April break, I think, was extremely successful. We're hoping to do that through the summer on Friday nights. And that's a collaboration with PAL. We have our high school coaches, the Little League coaches, the Pop Warner coaches. We invite them into the field house. It's open so they can run practices there, and we can have some type of relationship with them. We try to run, clinics during vacations. Another thing that people don't know that we do, but during the athletic and phys ed department is the liaison to the health department for the Board of Ed. And during the COVID, we made the field house a COVID vaccine place. Vaccinated 10,000 people. We also opened the field house at Christmas break this year because we found out that enough students didn't have vaccines to return after the break. With our health department, it had free clinics for parents to bring their kids in over Christmas break to get vaccinated, so they did not have to be sit out of school. So yeah, as far as yeah, we have a partnership with Magnus now out of state in the hope to bring ice out. So,
Greg McDonald would be so happy.
So thank you for this opportunity. I'd love for you guys to come out and see our Project Pride. I know a lot of you guys are engaged and see a lot of our weddings. But yeah, we're really proud of our know that, but we know that with funding, we could really do a lot more.
Thank you for that presentation. Really appreciate it.
I'll go first again. Let's start by saying all you do. Your presentation gave me the opportunity to reflect on my public school elementary gym teacher, who I don't think about often enough. Significant teacher in my elementary school career. I also thank you for all you do. They have an eighth grader who's a fabulous work. I appreciate that. You'll eighth graders. I guess my question after thanking you for all you do, both of you, is to document your own identification. To repeat the question. $5 million increase the mayor's proposed, and what differences will occur in fiscal education if you do not get your requested budget.
And again, the staffing in terms of the FTEs that are currently in the budget are going to remain. It's any asks that are coming for us to do more. That's what I'm saying. No, even we were piloting over spring break, and I saw how amazing that program was. They're just, you want to do it again for the summer? I mean, great, but you better be saying who's going to pay the bill, because we cannot take on the cost of that program. We want to do it. It makes sense. We love to see youth activities were like they're like I want to be in a training. You know what, things happen in spring break in terms of things that we don't want to do. I wonder what that looked like in terms of that data, if it has been correlated, right, during the time that those activities were happening, because we know it makes a difference. Like, I want to be clear, right? I know that the community would love to have more things like that. So we're all in. But what I'm saying is, you're not continue to expect that it's going to be lifting up these ideas and wonderful things that we want to provide for children when we compare to or what we have to do inside of our normal school hours and calendar. So I am just trying to take every opportunity to be fully transparent when the budget comes up. I don't know, and that this has been my reflection, it's not new anymore. It was done with ELO. But I keep telling that I don't know that people quite understand where we are as it relates to my last conversation with the administrators meeting. I basically said, like, folks, I get it. I was one of you. I remember sitting there, and every so often, they will come up and say, hey, we're dealing with a deficit. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep going with what I'm doing. Like, that doesn't do it. It's not figure it out. Right? And it was always figured out. It was always figured out. Especially these last 3 years, it was figured out. Because we had the beauty of extra dollars that came in. I'm trying to tell people we are not hiding the first money. What we got is what we got. It's going to mean some serious decisions that we're going to have to make. That's why I'm in the process right now of truly identifying if I have to cut. I need to tell the public, folks, this is what I'm cutting. Very concretely, this is what I'm cutting. Because I have to protect that I'm doing at this point what's required by the state to make sure that we still meet the requirements and keeping our schools up to standard. There are a lot of amazing things that we do and that we should continue to do. So we see the results, but we're going to have to pull together and figure out where the funding is coming from. I also believe a lot has to be done at the state level, right? At the state level, because we're not the only urban environment right now in this predicament. So I will have more details. My plan is to, our team is working right now on numbers. I'm hoping, I believe we said, June 10th? I believe it's like June 10th or so that I'm aiming for, in front of the board to be able to say, hey, this is what it's looking like. We looked at everything. This is what it's looking like in terms of the potential cuts and.
I just noticed one absent community partner from your presentation as a lead partner presentation. What role is Yale playing in Yale athletics, which is quite.
She said arts.
Yeah, in the arts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just noticing the absence of Yale being discussed. What opportunities there are. But in athletics, what opportunities there are to access programs and partnerships in athletics, given how well funded. How well funded Yale athletics in particular is with youth governments. Really quite an extensive resources.
So and elders are very eager to work with us on different things. My experience with Yale is that they are not, when our field was in disrepair and being repaired and we did field to go to and different things like that, Yale has not been one of the people who would say, yes, come use our facility. They'll say, if you need to use our facility, it costs a tremendous amount of money. Where I give you an example, we had so many rainy days that we couldn't get our softball games in, and Alberta said you could use our field for $200. That would have cost me $16,000 to $70,000 to do that.
I just may ask what efforts there have been the new athletic structure started showing. It does seem that she's quite communicative. Efforts have there been?
I have not reached out to her
communications
as
with
of
this
yet, but that is something that I'll take note of and try to, partnership.
child? Yeah, so we offer my relationship with her to the public school.
We would love that. We would love it.
We're going to take you up on
Yeah.
that.
We would love
I take great pride, as I had shared in my kindergarten teacher, I was a division like myself, and really would like to see if anyone can comment. Question?
We would absolutely love that.
It's a great.
Any other questions?
I have a couple of comments and a question. I wanted to touch on that because being at the farmhouse for so many years, when Tim Ford was the athletic director, he was all about community. And once Tim Ford left, that dried up. They used to do a lot of stuff for the community, and once they left, they stopped. Again, I worked there for 30 years. For 18 years, and I was just wanted to touch on what you had said about the gym teachers. You hit it right on the head. Because as somebody who deals with behavior all day, and I started as a security guard and worked my way up by being multifaceted. Gym teachers are great teammates in the building when it comes to behavior, when it comes to giving kids safe space. A lot of times with our behavior problems, we try to, tailor where we bring them based on the child. A lot of our kids want to go down and see the gym teachers to get their little break. So, I applaud you guys for the many years of service. You and I go way back. Project Pride as well. At Edgewood, I was part of the crew that built the climbing wall there with Scott Listro and Sean Portley. I did get a chance to be part of Camp Cedar Crest, which is wonderful, and I hope that more kids would get a chance to see that. And also the field house. That was one of the best experiences that I've had since I became an alder, was being invited over there. I think about 660 kids in there that night. And to touch on what was said, a lot of those kids, as the street outreach worker and violence intervention person, I did see a lot of people, even that kids in that gym that night that would have otherwise been out in the streets. So thank you for that.
And just to know that we had 0 incidents.
No, I know.
Not a fight, not an argument.
Security barely had to move.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's all budget based, and this is kind of a silly question. And I think we've had this conversation before. With now having wrestling as a sport in high school, is there ever a thought of expanding Greco-Roman wrestling to the middle school?
We would love to take every program that we have and make it a middle school program because it's a natural developmental thing, right? So if you have middle school programs, you have better high school programs. Yes, we did have middle school wrestling clinics at one time. We had a group that used to volunteer to do that. So any opportunity to extend that, we believe is important, and we would pursue in any way possible.
Well, I'm also working in partnership with PAL too, so maybe that's a conversation we can have in that partnership with PAL.
Maybe you could possibly fund it.
Well, we could push it a bit some.
Listen, that's not in my mind. I'm just keeping it very, very real.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions? Alderman Miller?
First, just a comment. Role played during COVID, and I don't think you get enough credit for. You carried a lot of the weight for the district in terms of vaccine outreach and risk readiness in schools and way beyond your job description. And it was noticed by many, many people, and really appreciate that.
Here.
Thank you for that project. Thank you for really awesome plan today. My kid came in like 14. Yeah, he did a great job. And I just want to say that I do think that like theater, the middle school sports drives so many things that have nothing to do with you're like with you wanting to fight to get the funding that the district and the kids and the teachers need. I'd like to see us just move toward thinking of that as a goal. We want every school should have a theater program, every school should have a middle school sports program, at least one a season. That's just part of the school, and I think that it would feed into all kinds of other things that we want to do. And I'm down for the meetings with Yale, meetings with the state, whatever we can do to get the money to do that.
We'll work with it, anybody,
Yeah,
and out, and we can get funding to increase those programs, because I was a middle school teacher at Troop for a lot of years, and sports saved a lot of those kids, and sports kept a lot of kids in sports. There, was a huge sense of pride. There was a huge sense of pride in it, and I believe that there's a direct correlation between learning and physical activity, whether it's physical education or sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the middle school, I know the coaches of head of football, the middle school program helped us become successful because the kids
right.
knew what they were doing and clean was. It was so essential for our success.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that it's important for the sports, important for the job as themselves, but really it's also about kids' mental health, emotional health, physical health, and academics. There's attendance, I mean, all of those things are very tightly correlated. So somehow we have to figure that out. And I know it's really, really difficult, but I'd like to work together for that.
With you guys.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, we're excited about it. So I have a question too.
Yes.
The question is about women and girls sports and about even like the leadership of your department, like what role do you play, how many women do you have in leadership in athletics, and how do you think about equity between girls and boys sports?
So whatever sport that we offer, we have females or are comparable. So like there's not football, but there's volleyball for girls and football. So if you look through the list, you'll see that whatever we offer females, comparable, same female or something that's different, but in the same season. As far as the leadership in the department, and as far as coaches, we have female coaches, male coaches. Typically, most females coach female teams and male, but we have had female coaches coach male teams in the past. There's not much of a leadership except for us in the department. So
Unless we're funding another position.
But yeah, we're bound by Title IX law to have equal opportunities for male and female.
I really just don't know the answer. So I know in some districts, like there's more investment in boys sport. Like, if you look at the dollars, it's more in boys than in girls sports. And have we looked at that at all? Do we know whether we're investing?
It's close to being equal. The caveat is football is a more expensive sport than everything else. But if you look at, so we send out a budget to all our coaches for their teams. The budget for the team is off of what it costs to buy their. So like a soccer budget, when you have varsity balls, soccer balls, things like that, is very different than a football budget, where a football helmet costs, one helmet is almost $400. So the budgeting is really based off of need. One thing that I can tell you, and knock on wood, and I don't know how we've done it, but we've never denied one of our teams or coaches or programs of something that they needed. We're very fortunate to provide to our budgeting, to our fundraising and different things like that. I don't think if you went to any of our teams and said, do you have everything you need, they would all tell you yes. And, we're proud of that. And that's another reason why they say that, we're a gold standard for districts, because you don't get that in other.
I'm sorry, if I may add also, I do want to extend gratitude too, because now you can, right?
Yes.
Like the conditions of the fields, right? Are starting
Rice, it's good.
to be up to par.
Rice looks really nice.
And we were able to open the football field. The first year on, we were able to open ball field. As far as access goes, It's something scheduled, like soccer, they need turf fields. The boys get to play 8 games on the turf, so do the girls. And we are conscious of that. The only thing I can't really answer is because budgeting is really based on need and the expense of the sport.
And Eric makes sure all our teams are uniformed well. He gets the best for everything.
And they have everything they need. They're from their cleats to everything they need, which is also unusual because a lot of things, not just nice. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Very good. Any other questions? Okay, before we finish up, Dr. Negron, you'll figure it out.
That's an old school, that was an old school comment right there. You'll figure it
Anyway, one thing, obviously, no, I don't really have any questions. My life is based on that. As a kid, and I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Just the example you have. So what it tells me with drama, athletics, that kids want to do something. They want a place to go, to be busy, to be productive, to socialize. So many kids don't have that opportunity. Safe place. Yeah, safely. And I think it's a big part of school. And obviously, you know, kids that are involved in drama, sports, what have you, their attendance is good. You know, a lot of kids don't come to school for a variety of reasons. And the one thing we don't want them to do is to come to school because they're not physically fit. I have gym today, so I don't want to go to gym class. I know I have to run today.
Right.
And I think you guys, great job, Project Vital, and all that stuff. But I do want to thank you. It's sort of enlightened me, and I'm sure the committee on what you guys are, what you guys do, and I'm proud to say that I'm an educator. I was an educator in New Haven. I'm still a part of education. I want to thank you all for doing that. And best of luck in your retirement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll still be around in Haven. We can count on it.
And you're gonna reach out to me to. You have my contact?
Upstairs community.
You have my contact?
We'll be on her too.
No, I'll give you myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, after the item has been heard, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public portion of this meeting?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning this meeting, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
I figured I'd do it.
Are we off?
Thank you, Mr. Alder, Dr. Mr. Shaver.
Are we off?
Great committee. Yes, we're off.
We're off?
Oh.
Frankie, I want you.
Yeah, I'm coming.
No, you.
You guys can come off.
I don't think it was on.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, that's fine.